Hi, this video will provide a quick summary of what we've learned from the module on applying the competitive model. So the competitive model, supply and demand. And we saw supply and demand in action in a variety of different settings. The supply and demand model was used to help us determine the consumer surplus or consumer welfare. And of course, this is the benefit a consumer gets when they make a purchase. The supply and demand model is also helpful in determining the producer welfare or producer surplus, the benefit a producer gets when they make an item. And we've seen that the competitive model also maximizes our total surplus. So this equilibrium of demand and supply, that's the most efficient price and most efficient quantity to produce. This maximizes society's welfare. So those were the three first things on the agenda for applying the competitive model. And then we pivoted to talking about government intervention in the markets. And the government could come in and they could shift supply curves or demand curves based on whether they have quotas in place or based on they have restrictions on number of firms. And we showed how this impacts consumer and producer welfare in such a scenario. And then finally, in this chapter in module, we talked about taxes. And taxes place a wedge between the buyer and the seller. And these wedges create inefficiencies. And this term we use for inefficiencies, deadweight loss. And so we use the demand and supply curves to determine the new prices the buyers pay, the new price the seller receives, and the impact on our welfare measures. Taxes create deadweight losses. So you need demand supply to determine how much this deadweight loss is. So there's your summary of the applying the competitive model. Hope you've enjoyed it and look forward to the next module, which is on monopoly.